Hi, this is Amos, the math guy, and in this video, briefly, I want to just talk to you about a book called 5 Equations That Changed the World, right? So imagine if your child is very good at math and they're looking for something to challenge them. Well, how cool would it be to introduce them to Isaac Newton's equation with a little bit of the history of Isaac Newton in there, right? And so at our program, with Amos, the math guy, we have resources like this, which go along with resources to teach your child how to learn math well. I'm going to throw this in my wagon. I travel with a wagon. And then we also have a bookshelf. This is a new thing now, it seems, in town, right? You travel with a bookshelf and a wagon. You just never know, right? You never know when you might need these resources. And so this is part of why I travel with a wagon. I'm kidding. You don't have to do that, but it's pretty cool. I'm trying to start a new trend. If people are going to start trends, let's actually make trends that make sense. Okay, so I have a few books that I've written, but in this particular video, I'm talking specifically of inspiring kids who are already good at math. So what do you do if someone is very good at math? Well, first of all, tell them to read Tools for Mastery Mathematics. That's a good thing because it will teach them how to help their friends in math. See, one of the best ways to learn something well is to imagine practicing that skill by teaching it to somebody else, which then strengthens that skill even more. If your child is good at math and they don't have a dedicated math notebook, tell them to get a notebook. I actually have a notebook coming out called the Tools for Mastering Math Counting to Calculus Notebook. And basically what you can expect in that notebook is that every page is dedicated to a math concept. And then it gives them room to show their work. It gives them some notes on that particular math concept. Now, why is this math book important? Because if you take all the math books in my series, Inspirational Mathematics, there's three courses in the series. If you take all 3 courses, you're going to have notebooks dedicated to each course, and then you're going to have all of them when you're ready to do calculus, and you can refer back to your notes. How cool is that? Actually, before we go on, I'm going to tell you a crazy idea. I don't think anyone has ever done this, but I'm going to tell it to you, okay? You can share it with others, okay? We're trying to get the word out in our curriculum. Imagine if you're doing a math problem, and imagine if you recorded yourself doing the problem. So let's do an example here. Imagine someone says, solve this problem. Okay? Now, imagine if kids recorded themselves distributive, so we use the distributive property. Now, I know some of you out there are like, oh, you could divide by 2. That's true. I could do the same thing on this side, and I could have divided by 2, right? You could do the same thing on the other side. And some people might say, oh, I know exactly that x is 0, and that's fine, right? But here's the catch. In math, there's different approaches to a problem sometimes, but it's good to have all of them ready. It's like in basketball, as a point guard. When you come up to the top of the key, are you going to pass the ball? Are you going to drive? Are you going to shoot a 3, right? If you're not Stephen Curry, I would be careful shooting 3s, but not picking on anybody else. But there's some tough, well, actually, you need to be careful with shooting 3s. Everybody's beginning to shoot 3s, even centers. I think we need to rethink that. Cool random fact. The guy who started basketball, James Naismith, one of his relatives, Dr. Gene Gullux, is actually the director of a STEM school that we started in Grand Forks. Isn't that crazy? Dr. Gene Gullux is related to the person who started basketball. I just think that's really cool. Anyways, here's the thing. You can do this problem, okay? And you record yourself. Let's just distribute, just so I teach you that skill. So I just distributed 2 into the x plus 5. And then I subtract 10 from both sides. So 2x is equal to 0. You divide both sides by 2. X is equal to 0. If you substitute 0 in for x, we know it's true. I just did a multi-step equation. I guess you could call it a 2-step equation if you just divided both sides by 2. But if you distributed it, that's 1 step. You subtracted 10 from both sides, that's a 2nd step. And you divided both sides by 2, that's a 3rd step. So it's a multi-step at this point. Again, I went the long route. But part of what I wanted to say is, imagine if you recorded yourself explaining this, and then you make a YouTube playlist of you showing how to do the problem. And then when it's time to take a test, you watch the videos you recorded. How crazy is that? This is a technique I've never seen done anywhere, and I'm telling you, you could start it. I just gave you that advice for free. What if we started a movement of young people recording themselves teaching how to do math problems and then watching those problems? That's a better movement than most of what's out there in the public. Wouldn't you agree? So, young people, take my advice. Try this new trend, okay? And parents, if this is working for your kids and you're like, wow, that guy has great ideas, I want to donate to his program, feel free to donate with the link in the description. We want to change math education in America, and that's what we're going to do by God's grace. So reach out if you have any questions, amosthemathguy@gmail.com. We're going to be doing math camps all across Texas, as well as Minnesota and North Dakota. Reach out to us if you have any questions. Take care, and God bless.